Welcome to the Scariest Things podcast, your gateway to the trends and tropes of the horror genre. And tonight is the most important night of the year. This is the 2020 Thingy Awards.
Fanfare, red carpets,
yes,
stars.
I am wearing my finest tuxedo for this.
Roll out the red carpet. It's time to announce the 2020 Thingy Awards, the celebration of all that was great in horror from 2019. We had 129 jurors this year, which is 5 times as many as we had last year. So that tells you we might have been slumming it last year, but no longer. This, of course, is Mike Campbell, and I am joined with
Eric Lee
and
Liz Williams.
All right. So most important question for the evening, Eric, who are you wearing tonight?
I am wearing the very finest Overlook print T-shirt for bearing the graphics of the Shining carpet. Yes, which is
Liz, very
appropriate for this.
Liz, who are you wearing tonight?
I am in the finest athleisure wear that you could get. I'm in my
a Versace leisure wear.
What I've been wearing for the past 7 days while I've been home.
Very nice. Very nice.
And Mike?
Very nice. I am wearing my son's very old Thrasher magazine baseball hat and a gray sweatshirt.
And that
is also very, very old. And no pants. This is a pants-free pandemic.
Staying at home, getting comfortable. Yeah.
Pants-free pandemic. Yes. The Thingy
What other
Awards.
award show can you attend without pants on?
That's right.
No comment.
The Thingy Awards is it. This is it.
There you
this
go.
Is your pants-free award show.
All right.
Eric, you want to hip us to kind of where we were last year and where we are this year and sort of what everything happened before we jump into all the categories.
So for those of you who are new to our podcast, this is the resolution of 2 years of the Scariest Things. And I think one of the biggest additions we've had, of course, is adding Liz as our third host. So we've got a number of other resources that the people we've met over time, and I think that's one of the big reasons why we've had a jump in the number of jurors. So again, last year we had 30 voting members of our awards, and that was a pool that was big enough that we were sure not to get the same thing over and over again. It wouldn't be one person dominating the awards. And this time with almost 130. We've got a real broad swath of people, including a lot of festival directors from our friends at the Portland Horror Film Festival, H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival, Fantasia in Brooklyn, and Popcorn Frights, and Buried Alive. So a lot of, and then we actually had some film festival directors who know us through our reviews of films who have joined us, which was really cool. A couple of folks who are a little bit newer to us. We've got a couple of movie producers. Our friend Amanda, who is a producer now, who's got a big promotion at Fangoria. She's joining us. And she invited a lot of the Fangoria Cinestate team on, so we have some super experty insider folks who are participating.
Heck yeah!
We have actually we have, and you will notice it. A good portion of the movie team from the Sonata actually is participating with us.
Yes, Freya Tingley represented mightily.
Yes.
Yes.
And we have our friend David Dastmalchian, who is writing a great comic book for Dark Horse Comics. Count Crowley.
They just finished that up, and it's coming out in a trade collection here very soon.
That's right, and as soon as, actually, I don't know if filming stopped, but he's going to be Dr. Yui in Dune.
That's right.
Up. So
yeah.
So he's going to be joining us on this list. All of our patrons are on board. So Ian and Brian Gilson, and and I'm gonna hate myself for forgetting any of our patrons, but this is
Eric,
a broad swath.
Did we get either of our scaredy cats? Did we get Mike Halstead or Dan to join us?
No, Mike and Dan did not join us. They hadn't seen enough of these movies. I think I asked them to join us, but actually, one of the other patrons, my colleague at the office, Zach, is participating. So we get some a few friends and family, but real insider knowledge. J.K., who is a friend of the podcast, who actually does a lot of the festival coordination of providing insight onto what horror festivals are good to go to, and he shows up to all of them. So he's been a great resource.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, it's a big group of people, a lot of experts, and everybody who is participating loves the scary. And we are hugely appreciative of everybody who participated, and it really, I think one of the most fun things is I was able to watch the votes build up on this, and it was neck and neck and neck for some of these things, right all the way. I think it was a super close vote for the big award at the end, which is our studio film. I think was up until the very last day. It was a 3-way tie going into the final day of counting. So
I think Neck and Neck and Neck is a horror film coming out in 2020.
That's something from the Manster, I believe, right?
That's right. That's right. All right. Well, why don't we, without further ado, get started with our first category? Liz, would you like to do the first category?
I would love to. Thank you. Our first category is Best Actress in a Leading Horror Movie Role. So once again, the leading ladies earned the spotlight for the best horror movies in 2019. We have an Oscar winner, Lupita Nyong'o, and an Oscar nominee, Jessica Chastain, and a host of young actresses who have proven that they're more than your average final girl. Each one of these women carried their movies to great success. And our nominees are Florence Pugh for Midsommar, Lupita Nyong'o for Us, Riley Keough for The Lodge, Samara Weaving in Ready or Not, Maeve Higgins in Extraordinary, Kate Sicardio in Crawl, and Freya Tingley for The Sonata. And the winner is, drumroll.
It was a very good year for Lupita Nyong'o, and her hot streak. Her performance in Us was something that Mike and I in particularly loved. She played 2 roles. In fact, the entire cast of Us had to play 2 roles, and she was, she had these 2 really divergent types of characters and really sold the movie. And she was also, I think, not to be overlooked, in a movie called Little Monsters, which was one of Liz's favorites from last year.
Yep, so, I did. I enjoyed that one.
So yeah, it was I think, it's important to recognize that these aren't just best actresses as sort of a component, or there's no sidekicking here. These are women who were the primary forces behind their movies, and these are some of the best movies that we had out last year. So it was it's a great sign.
Yeah, 100%. I think pretty much all these made our top 10 list.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yep, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they did too. There you go. All right. Moving on to the fellas, the best actor in a leading horror movie role. The best leading man in 2019 horror films are a mix of some legendary names in Hollywood, a son of Hollywood royalty, a veteran indie horror journeyman, and a former Harvard football player in his Who is that? In his breakout feature leading role.
That is Alex
I did not know that.
Oh,
okay. We'll to Alex Burrow. In A Sign of the Times, 6 of the leading men are protagonists, and only one is a monster. Leave that to the new guy. The nominees for the Best Actor in a Leading Horror Movie Role are Robert Pattinson for The Lighthouse, Jeremy Gardner for Sadistic Intentions, Miles Robbins for Daniel Isn't Real, Elijah Wood for Come to Daddy, William Dafoe for The Lighthouse, Alex Bro for Depraved, Ewan McGregor for Dr. Sleep, and notable write-ins in this category included Bill Skarsgård for It Chapter 2 and Barry Ward for Extraordinary and what? Is this real? John Travolta for The Fanatic.
Yes.
Is that a film?
It was.
That is a
and
film.
He completely covered in makeup and put on a fat suit, I think. Although he might not need too much of a fat suit at this point. So,
did you see it?
I have not, but I've seen it available on Amazon. So.
Okay. All right.
This was actually a battle between two men in the same movie, and it was Robert Pattinson and our winner, Willem Dafoe. Why'd you spill your beans for The Lighthouse? And I don't know if I saw this and I really enjoyed The Lighthouse. It's a quirky Robert Eggers movie that sort of breaks sort of traditional rules. It's not a conventional horror movie, but man, do those two guys just pour everything they had into it. That was method acting taken to the nth degree, and I think Willem Dafoe solidly earned the big win. Congratulations, Willem.
Directed by the gentleman who directed The Witch.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And what is Mr. Eggers? What does he have on tap for us next? Do we know?
I will.
Do you have any idea?
Robert Eggers.
I just figured you would know off the top of your head.
I don't think he's got anything. I don't think he's got anything in the hopper at the moment. But
okay.
Let's see. There is. Okay.
Let's see. I'm on it.
The Northman.
I'm on it.
Whatever the.
Oh.
So that is no release date yet. Of course, everything due to Corona
It'll
pandemic.
Be cool.
Right.
So there's really not much information. It's a Viking revenge saga set in Iceland at the turn of the 10th century. Period piece.
Yep, he loves those. It'll be meticulously researched, and so it'll be like The Witch.
And they'll speak in Icelandic.
Yeah, probably.
So
before we leave Best Actor, The Fanatic, the John Travolta film. Do you know who directed The Fanatic?
Tell us.
Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit, and he also wrote it. He wrote it and directed it. Yeah.
So what is the
Limp Bizkit Fanatic played by John Travolta?
Yes.
Wow. Now it's going on my to watch list.
Totally is. Yeah. John Travolta plays the last remaining Limp Bizkit fan.
It's
so it's
sad
only a
melodrama.
horror movie to Fred Durst. To the rest of us, it's like a celebration.
Fred Durst, if you're out there listening, we would love to have you on the podcast. Please come on the podcast.
We haven't had anybody take us up on the invites yet. I wonder why.
No.
This will be it. This will be the one we get.
Okay, next category.
Okay, now we're with Best Actress in a Supporting Horror Movie Role. So the Best Supporting Actress in these nominees are more than just a love interest. These ladies provide color and the flavor required for the movie to succeed. We have gathered here for your selection: an overly devoted mother, a psychic vampire, a sexy cult leader, and the stalwart, tough as nails companion, of which we have 2. And the manipulative third leg of a love triangle, along with a crazy axe-wielding auntie, all vying for the flavor of the year. And our nominees are Emily Tyra for Harpoon, Rebecca Romaine for Satanic Panic, Elizabeth Banks for Brightburn, Nikki Guardani for Ready or Not, Ruby Modine for Satanic Panic, Karen Michelson for Finale, Rebecca Ferguson for Dr. Sleep, and some notable write-ins in this category is Kylie Curran for Dr. Sleep, Jolie Richardson in Color Out of Space, and Monica Hendricks for A Certain Kind of Silence. And the winner is...
This one goes... Rebecca Ferguson for Dr. Sleep. Rose the Hat.
Dr. Sleep.
Rose the Hat. Yeah, she was super solid. Solid. You
actually, I think the write-in for the other supporting actress for the girl was your write-in.
Kylie Curran.
Yep.
Yes, I wrote in Kylie Curran. I thought she was actually better and more interesting than Rose the Hat. I thought the woman, Rebecca Ferguson, that plays Rose the Hat, does a very, very good job, but it didn't touch my emotional core. Whereas Kylie Curran, I thought, brought an interesting take on the character that I hadn't really seen in the book when I read the book. So yes, Kylie Curran was very good. Rebecca Ferguson was very good. Dr. Sleep gets a 3.5 stars for me. I think is what I gave Dr. Sleep.
I believe that's right.
Yeah. All right.
And
all right.
I think what we have here is actually this is the horror movie fans' tendency to go for the monster sometimes, and I think this is she's the villains get a lot of the and in the supporting roles. This is your Heath Ledger as the Joker, right? This is you get to go over the top, and you get to be the really interesting character, as opposed to having to play the protagonist, who sometimes has to play a more generic character because they want you to bind with them and put yourself in that position. And so it's a more vanilla character. Usually the supporting characters, and particularly the villains, get to be more flamboyant. And I think that's where Rebecca Ferguson got got the love from our audience for that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Although I think on that same note, I think Ruby Modine in Satanic Panic was very good as well, playing the protagonist.
Yeah, she was kind of the buddy to Haley Griffith, I think, in there, but that's
okay. Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking of the other gal. There was a lot of people. It was an ensemble cast.
It was an ensemble cast for sure.
Yes. All right, moving on to the best actor in a supporting horror movie role. Here's where you can have a lot of fun, or rather, these guys are what make horror movies fun. Your over-the-top roles come to play here. Your comic relief, your asshole villains. These are the connective. That's weird. You used asshole and then connective tissues. That are the connective tissues.
This is the way we do it, folks. This is reading off the cards as if you were actually walking up to the Oscar envelope opening ceremony. So Mike is being subjected to my writing here, so you can blame me for the
yes.
The preambles.
The Oscars usually don't get asshole and connective tissue in
on the teleprompters.
Second sentences. These are the connective tissue roles that enrich the plot that can make or revive careers. Your nominees for Best Actor in a Supporting Horror Movie Role are Patrick Schwarzenegger. Yes, that's Schwarzenegger for Daniel Isn't Real. Barry Pepper for Crawl. Will Forte for Extraordinary. Bill Hader for It Chapter 2. Jack Rayner for Midsummer. Stephen McHattie for Come to Daddy. Winston Duke for Us. And notable write-ins include Josh Gad for Little Monsters and Mike Pence for I was a teenage vice president for an orange monster, a.k.a. Mark of the Orange Demon, which was also the best movie of the year, for sure.
And 2020, it's looking to be the same one.
That was I got a kick that someone put in Mike Pence there, so had to come up with a movie for him. So this one goes to the comic. It goes to Bill Hader for It Chapter 2. He got 1/3 of the votes. So he is a fairly sizable lead, and I thought I thought Bill Hader stole the movie. He was so good.
Yeah, he was great.
And,
super good.
It's one of those kind of roles where I think he's going to get this. This opens the door for him to get more dramatic roles and less having to play slapstick comic. But he will be awesome when he gets that chance. But showing off his acting chops in a big way. So
I thought from a linear standpoint, he was the most obvious character connected from the first film to the second film in terms of like the transformation from Finn Wolfhard to Bill Hader. It was like, oh yeah, this is clearly that kid.
Yeah, it's almost like they actually spent a lot of time with him in advance to sort of to get that vibe. I think it's also a credit to some of the story, the screenwriting that allows that personality to carry through from one episode to the one chapter to the next, right? So,
right.
I think that was my favorite part about It Chapter 2 was actually seeing who or how well the adult actors did as stepping up from the kid roles, because the kids were so great in the first one. So the challenge was, can they carry it through?
All right, let's move along because we got a lot of awards to get to tonight.
A lot of trophies to hand out. Okay, so next up is the Fay Wray Award for Breakout Rising Star. So horror movies have always been an entry point for actors and actresses to get their start. They don't have to be young performers, just underseen or new to feature films. Whether it's Steve McQueen, Kathy Bates, Sigourney Weaver, Jack Nicholson, or Jamie Lee Curtis, they all got their careers in high gear through the horror genre. And whether they eventually stay in scary movies or go on to more conventional fare, the following performers had their big opportunity launched in 2019 horror movies. And your nominees are Haley Griffith for Satanic Panic, Freya Tingley for The Sonata, Christopher Rye for The Headhunter, Taylor Russell for Escape Room, Kiersey Clemens for Sweetheart, Sierra McCormick for The Vast of Night, Jaden Martell for The Lodge, Zachary Bird for Pledge, and Phelan Bilodeau for The Invisible Mother. And the winner is...
And this was close. This is where both of the... I can say we had campaigns going on. We mentioned that so between Satanic Panic and The Sonata, both excellent movies, came in with their producers and actors in tow. And in this case, Freya Tingley from The Sonata wins out.
Yay!
Congratulations,
she was really
Freya.
good in that. That was a
Freya
very good film.
She actually voted in this, but she got a lot of votes. She got, out of our 129 voters, there were 52 of them. So she got a lot of votes, and she was great. I know Robert, a lot. You guys give me a hard time for having a crush on Samara Weaving. I think Robert has a crush on Freya Tingley, who was good enough to give us an interview. And you can check out Robert's conversation with Freya on our website, scariestthings.com.
So you're saying Robert stuffed the ballot is what I'm hearing.
He said he just wrote it.
Accuse him of voting off.
Set up a lot of email accounts.
I think Robert did vote for her, so to that I give.
We're on to you. We're on to you, Robert Zilbauer.
Yeah,
she was my pick. I voted for her in this one.
I think David Dustmalchin also picked. I mean, there was she had it wasn't just the campaigns of the of all of Freya's friends and family. We got. There's got a lot of support in there. Anyways.
Yep.
All right. The Gateway Award, the best horror film for young and or new horror fans and or scaredy cats. As we have on our byline, The Scariest Things has a mission. We are evangelists for horror films, and we want to make sure that everybody has an easy on-ramp experience. As we just recorded with our Scaredy Cat Challenge, there's a lot of people enticed by horror films, but not yet ready to jump into the deep end of the pool. Or you might be wanting to introduce your kids to the love of the genre. For the best movies to bring a new audience to horror, the nominees are Godzilla, King of the Monsters, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, Escape Room, Head Count, not a gateway film.
You don't think? I thought
Happy Death Day.
Okay.
No, what? No, you're going to show a 9-year-old head count? No, you are not. Happy Death Day. Happy Death Day to You. Little Monsters. Extraordinary. Itsy Bitsy. And notable write-ins. The Sonata. Black Christmas. Probably not a gateway film.
It's PG-13, but it's...
Yeah, and Dr. Sleep, also probably not a gateway film. Eric, the winner for the Gateway Award, the best horror film for young and or new horror fans and or scaredy cats is...
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. This is, of course, it's a natural for this, for being a gateway because it came from a children's storybook with really creepy pictures, and it did a fantastic job of translating the art from the books into images on the screen, and I think they took an anthology approach and kind of a different kind of a way of doing an anthology. They strung it together with stories from a town and kids going from place to place to place and running into these things, but still it's essentially an anthology spinning out the stories and what Liz, remind us who the author of Scary Stories is.
I do not know. Hang on. I'm on. Well, I read them when I was young. I remember buying them because they had the drawings are also like pen and ink. You know, they're just very creepy.
Well,
okay. Alvin Schwartz is the author of the collection "Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark."
Do they have the artist?
Alvin Schwartz.
Stephen Grammel is the artist.
Yeah, that's they managed to take his pale
very
lady.
Creepy.
Super creepy.
Yes.
And the scarecrow, really, really well done. And the bugs crawling out of the girl's
face.
Is
very creepy.
Yeah. So, anyways, I don't know, Mike, have you seen Scary Stories with your boys?
I have not seen Scary Stories with my boys. In fact, I don't know that I saw No, that is not true. We did see Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Okay.
And that is probably about where we jumped off the boat at that point.
Yeah.
Yes.
To that end, like Head Count would be more of a gateway movie for adults getting in.
And Little Monsters, just because it has kids in it doesn't mean it's for the kids. It is very foul, tons of terrible bad language, and lots of blood and gore.
So again, this is
Extraordinary. Also is a little it's a little racy.
Racy,
I think Christian Winter's divining rod. The kids aren't going to understand that.
Yep.
Liz.
All right, moving on, Liz.
Okay, now we have the Abbott and Costello Award for the best use of humor in a horror film. This is one of our new categories, and it recognizes that we don't just go to horror movies to get scared out of our pants.
Because this is a pantsless podcast,
10-year-old
right?
boy laughing at that one. Okay, but it is weird. No one's wearing pants in this podcast.
That's right.
Weird.
You can't get scared out of them. It's not possible.
Not possible.
Stay at home.
But
no
we
pants.
go because we want a strong emotional response from our movies. Laughter combined with screaming is a powerful concoction and merits recognition. So, in the spirit of Young Frankenstein, Shaun of the Dead, What We Do in the Shadows, Evil Dead 2, and Slither, the nominees for best use of humor in a horror film in 2019 are Necrotronic, Ready or Not, Harpoon, Satanic Panic, Us, Little Monsters, Extraordinary, and we have a few notable write-ins, Scare Package, It Chapter 2, and... well, I don't know how this one's funny. The Last of the Manson Girls. I don't know. Maybe they turn it into a comedy. Eric, who's the winner?
The winner for the Abbott and Costello Award inaugural debut is Extraordinary.
Yay.
Yes, as well it should be.
Yep.
Eric, what is Scare Package? That are you familiar with that write-in?
No, it's a write-in.
I
have no idea where that came from. So
okay,
that's. I think we could look up that one and the Last of the Manson. I did actually.
Funny.
IMDb'd it and it was a comedy. It's like I don't know.
Oh.
Some people think Three from Hell is funny. I would disagree. So
Three from Hell is definitely not funny.
Yes, so congratulations, our little favorite movie, Extraordinary.
Yes.
It was, which is really rewarding, and I think this is also the power of the film festivals, right?
Yep.
And the amount of actual film festival directors who also recognize quality humor and getting them into the festivals to show along with some of the more conventional horror films.
That's right. And we will be getting back to Three from Hell later when we talk about the best film of the year, correct?
There's another one that's out there that hasn't nominated.
All right. So, moving on to the Al Kalis Award. I like this. Yes. This is the best movie poster of the year. One of my favorite elements of horror movies is the movie poster. In fact, I think if you go to our website, we have movie posters we love. And I think Eric might have created that category just for me.
I did.
Thank you. We've named the award after Al Kalis, the king of the 1950s atomic age matinee movie posters with classics like It Conquered the World, Not of This Earth, Attack of the 50-Foot Woman, and Invasion of the Saucer People. The Scariest Things recognizes the power of the poster and the amazing hype machine that is Hollywood, which still lives on even in digital form, to entice you to go further to the theater or stream the movie online because it looks so damn cool. The nominees for the Al Kalis Award are Killer Sofa. Love that poster.
Yep.
The Color Out of Space, excuse me. The Wind, Daniel Isn't Real, Ready or Not, Pet Cemetery, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, Head Count, and notable write-ins. I think I wrote in one of these notable write-ins. The Lighthouse, The Sonata, Satanic Panic, and Nightmare Cinema. And the winner of the Al Kalis Award is
the super trippy The Color Out of Space.
It's a good poster.
That is an awesome poster. I think you voted for Satanic Panic, which is
I did vote for Satanic Panic. And you know the cool thing about the Color Out of Space is there's been a bunch of fan posters as well that got aped really, really fast as soon as that one was released. And there is so if you get online and look at all the different the different versions of the Color Out of Space poster, there are some super duper cool ones, but the one that is affixed to the film and that we used for the review of the film is up on the scariestthings.com 1T. You can see it there, and it is a great poster. I don't know who the artist is, or who the graphic designer is, but it's a pretty solid looking poster.
Also, check out Mike's recent pandemic movie poster thing. I think you did 18 of them.
Yes,
there's a lot of really cool ones there.
There are some weird pandemic horror posters out there. All right, Liz, moving on to the next our award category.
This is the Dario Argento Award for the best looking horror movie. So when we go to a horror movie, we want to be amazed, transported, and astonished. We wouldn't even mind being totally grossed out by the wizardry of the makeup team. This award goes to the movie that gives us something visually stunning and unforgettable. Whether it's the cinematography, the special effects, the set design, or the art production, these movies were on top of the game in 2019. And the nominees for the Argento Award are Midsommar, The Lighthouse, The Vast of Night, Godzilla King of the Monsters, The Wind, The Lodge, The Color Out of Space, with notable write-ins of The Sonata, It Chapter 2, and Us. Eric, who is the winner of the Dario Argento Award?
Well, this is one of your favorites, Liz. This is the shot in brilliant daylight Midsommar from Ari Aster.
Yay.
I think the queen of the fairy queen costume and the bear costume. You're seeing a lot of costume play with that, with the huge the dress of flowers, and it is absolutely there's some unforgettable settings and just the top to bottom, art direction and the cinematography and even the makeup effects. When the a bit of a red herring, the deformed fellow, stuff that just is etched in your brain, and it's to get a horror movie that plays it in almost complete sunshine. The horror is right in your face. That's a trick, right? Being able to get the scares in there, and and granted, it's not like a conventional horror movie. It's more dreadful than scary, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, because the whole front end of the film, or not the front end, but the whole first section of the film takes place in a very dreary. Is it Salt Lake? Dreary winter setting that's very, very dark and gray. And then he flips it, and after a certain episode happens, he flips it, and then you run into a whole lot of light and color.
Yeah.
It's a festival feel to it.
It is.
But you still sense the dark underpinnings. It's weird that there's something very uneasy about it, in the same way that Wicker Man did it, right? But it was transporting. I love that. So.
Yep. Indeed. All right. Speaking of transporting, the other thing, in addition to your eyes that transport you in film, is your ears. This is, of course, the Best Sounding Horror Movie Award. Horror movies, as we all know, have a special relationship with the sound of the movie. It is one of the key foundations of a proper jump scare. See Paranormal Activity. The music builds the anticipatory fear and sets the anticipatory fear and sets the atmosphere and vibes. It's the subtle clues of the crack of a branch and the soft splat of a body hitting the ground, or a subsonic rumble. Wait, what was that? It was Paranormal Activity. And it just might kill you. Paranormal Activity is coming back for number 7 in 2021.
Oh, goodness.
So
6,
get ready.
Mike just reviewed number 6.
Just reviewed number 6, yes. The nominees for the Best Sounding Horror Film for 2019 are The Sonata, The Lighthouse, The Vast of Night, Godzilla King of the Monsters, The Wind, Us, Brightburn, and our notable write-ins include Climax, Satanic Panic, Nightmare Cinema, and that's it. Eric, who was the winner?
The winner is, by a pretty large margin, The Sonata. And it makes sense because it has a gorgeous orchestral sweep to it. It is about music summoning evil. It is, it's a Lovecraftian take, and I think the music of Eric Zahn, I think, is some of the touchstone kind of similarities.
Yep.
And I think this is a movie that built its story around the music. And I think one of the other things, if you read Robert's interviews with the Sonata team, I think it hats off to the seamless transition between the stunt violin player and actually Freya Tingley's performance, because that actually, the violin is probably the hardest instrument to fake when you're trying to do because just bowing a stringed instrument, you can't just sort of horse around with it. Otherwise it's going to sound like, nails on a chalkboard. And they pulled it off. They actually, they blended her role with the stunt violinist. It was great.
Yeah, no, it was, I think it was super solid. There was, of course, the Netflix film that came out this year called The Perfection, also involving involving a violinist, which wasn't very good, and I didn't buy any of the violin playing.
Yeah.
So yes, it's not an easy thing to pull off, but they did with much aplomb. Congratulations to the Sonata. Liz, what's next?
Okay, next we have our nominees for the Best International Horror Movie. So many of our favorites come from across the pond or around the world, and not just here in the U.S. So we've got a pretty big list here with some good notable write-ins. We're going to kick it off with Finale, which is from Denmark, Necrotronic from Australia, Extraordinary from Ireland, Black Circle, which is from Sweden and Mexico, The Lake Vampire from Venezuela, Dakra from Tunisia, Queen of Spades, The Dark Rite from Russia, and here's our write-ins. The Sonata from France and the UK, Harpoon from the UK, and Hagazusa from Austria. And we have The Soul Conductor was also a write-in, but I do not have what country that came from. Yep. And then a couple 2018 films that I'll put a little asterisk by because they were released in America in 2019. Tigers Are Not Afraid from Mexico, and One Cut of the Dead, which is, I believe, from
2017 even. It's been on the festival circuit forever.
17, 18 and 19. It went out in Asia in 2018, came to the festival, or in 2017, came to the festivals in America in 2018 and 2019, and then became on Shudder.
Yeah. So both, you cannot go wrong with either of those films. And actually, we had them both. I think One Cut of the Dead, I think, won last year for international film.
Fantastic. Eric, who's the winner this year of
this
Best
year's
International?
Winner is our favorite,
dun, dun, dun.
Extraordinary.
Heck yeah!
All
Sweeping
hail
up the awards this year.
So,
I think it's. I think we're seeing a neck and neck tie between Extraordinary and the Sonata at this point. Am I right?
Yep.
Am I right?
This one, I think. No, this one actually. Second place was Necrotronic out of Australia.
No. I mean, in terms of the total, the cumulative number of
I think
awards.
Categories.
I think we've
close,
got it spread
probably
around, but I think the Sonata's got more, but Extraordinary's got 2 now.
There we go. All right. Moving on to my favorite award of the year, which I told Eric we would get to, because Three from Hell is on this list. This is, of course, the Depends Awards, also known as what movie crapped its pants and disappointed the most in 2019. Not everything was great last year. Some movies were eagerly anticipated but failed badly to live up to expectations. Others just never stood a chance and were awful concepts from the get-go. These movies had to wear their adult diapers, a.k.a. Depends, because they got the cinematic runs.
Yeah.
Yes, we are, of course, talking about The Drone, Three from Hell, The Curse of La Llorona, The Dead Don't Die, Child's Play, Countdown, The Banana Splits, and notable write-ins, Crawl, Pet Sematary, maybe, Cats, becoming a modern stoner classic, Brightburn, and The Lighthouse. The winner of the Depends Award, what movie crapped its pants and disappointed the most in 2019 was...
Well, it was close. In third place, we had Child's Play. In second place, The Dead Don't Die, which is probably on top of Liz's
Should have
list.
Been first.
It's a big one.
But the winner, and I think by the fact that probably more people saw this one and got disappointed by it, was The Curse of La Llorona. That is about as flat a horror movie as I've seen in a long time. It never got out of first gear, that movie. It was just a flaccid movie. But it wasn't the movie that offended me. I think we went on record. We had our worst of just the three of us. And Curse of La Llorona was actually not on any of our lists because it was kind of a meh kind of a movie.
Yeah.
But everybody saw it. And I think that's the thing.
Not me.
Okay. Well, you didn't miss anything.
It was meh.
Yeah. So
not good.
Getting back on the right
moving
track.
On. Yes, getting back on the right track. Coming back to the stage is Liz Williams with our next award.
Yeah.
I have the honor of presenting the nominees for the Bloodbath Award, the best use of exploitation or gore in a horror movie. This is what we go to the horror movies for, right? You know the Oscars will never honor this category, but will roll around in the blood and guts to make up for their timidity. The nominees for the Bloodbath Award are Bliss, Come to Daddy, Porno, Ready or Not, Finale, Brightburn, Satanic Panic, and the notable write-ins are The Perfection, Midsummer, The Golden Glove, and Three from Hell. Eric, who is taking home the award for
this one warms my heart because this was my favorite movie from last year, and that is Ready or Not. And
yes.
And so this was probably in large part for the final sequence of Ready or Not, the Gonzo.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
it's like explodorific final moments, but there were a lot of hatchets and crossbow bolts and other things that were flying which way or not, and then it was they had impeccable timing with all of their gore. I think that's. And I think also memorable, that last sequence, everybody's going to remember that movie for the final sequence. So,
right.
Also, I think Come to Daddy was in second place, and I'm sorry, Satanic Panic was in second place, and
that was pretty bloody.
When Rebecca Romaine starts pulling the guts out of that guy's mouth just to do a divination. I loved how Amanda actually described how they did this, because this is, I think, the great thing to give Satanic Panic and the Fangoria folks some credit. This is the kind of stuff that they show in their magazine, right? Where they tell you how they pull off these physical gags, and it's essentially pulling some stuffed intestines out, with a visual masking. But it's old school trickery, and it just looks great, and it's so funny, and it's I love that. So, good on 1 and 2.
So Eric, be honest. Is the final scene in Ready or Not, is that really what you're going to remember, or is it maybe something else?
What are you saying? So, yeah.
All right, moving on to the next award, the Mary Shelley Best Screenplay in 2019 Horror Films. Another new category for this year's Thingy Awards. The films in this new golden age of horror, with their strong protagonist-based storylines, require more than just another mass killer with a cabin in the woods and a final girl. The Scariest Things recognizes the films that elevate their scripts and make this genre respectable. And that is what the Scariest Things is all about.
Respect, baby.
Being respectable. The nominees in the Mary Shelley Best Screenplay in 2019 horror films include Vast of Night, written by James Montague and Craig Sanger. The Lighthouse, written by Robert Eggers and Max Eggers. Is that his son or his brother or father? Brother? Okay. Us, written by Jordan Peele. Midsummer, written by Ari Aster. Depraved, written by Larry Fessenden. Come to Daddy, written by Toby Harvard. Satanic Panic, written by the Grady Hendrix. Notable write-ins include Dr. Sleep, written by Stephen King.
Who?
Who?
A new voice.
And Mike Flanagan. He's a new voice. He's a hot young writer. The Color Out of Space, written by Scarlett Amorous and H.P. Lovecraft.
Another
and
new
the
fresh
Sonata,
face.
written by fresh face, written by Andrew Desmond and Arthur Moran. And the winner of the Mary Shelley Best Screenplay Award is...
This one was a really close one. This one was one that was decided on the last day. I think we had a 3-way tie again coming in here. But the winner is The Lighthouse from Eggers and Eggers. And
all right, I buy it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the Eggers films is that the language that they use is so thematically or historically appropriate. So they had, Willem Dafoe is speaking in an old, like a Salty Dogs, Massachusetts fisherman, and then the Robert Pattinson's character was they took his dialect and his language taken from like Maine lumberjacks, and they just did these subtle things, and it was cool. It's a dialogue heavy movie. So yeah.
Yep. All right, moving on to the next award, Liz.
Okay, now we are in the best monsters of 2019. From the big stompy kaiju to slippery fishermen to freaky genetic experiments, monsters are the mainstay of horror movies that want to push your imagination. And this year's best monster from 2019 are the alligators in Crawl, the giant spider in Itsy Bitsy, Pennywise the clown in It Chapter 2, the sea monster in Sweetheart, King Ghidorah in Godzilla, King of the Monsters, Mothra in Godzilla, King of the Monsters, or the Pale Lady in Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. And Eric, who is our winner?
Not surprisingly, it is Pennywise from It Chapter 2.
He is creepy.
Bill Skarsgård.
Creepy.
Even if we'd seen him revealed in the first one, he is still he's a piece of work, ain't he? I think of all of the horror villains of our era, because we're not really in a horror villain mode right now. Pennywise is going to be the emblematic villain of this era. I don't think there's any question that it's the most recognizable monster. If you put a picture up with Freddy and Jason and Chucky and all the classics, Pennywise is one of them, and I don't know that we have a whole lot of those right now.
Yeah, the alligators kind of pale in comparison.
Yeah, although the alligators were so much fun. Oh my God,
they were pretty good though.
Yeah.
I like the alligators. I think I voted for the alligators. All right. Coming back to the stage for the next category is Liz Williams, because I'm going to let her do this category, because this should not be called the best horror TV series. This should be called the Liz Williams Award.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. So this is the best horror TV series. So now, with the power of Netflix, Amazon Prime, FX, and AMC all creating original content, production values and viewerships are up, and TV horror has never been better. With the television series leaving the venue of network TV, we can also be treated to more horrific content than ever before. And the nominees for Best TV Horror Series of 2019 are American Horror Story, 1984, Los Spookies, The Terror, Infamy, What We Do in the Shadows, Typewriter, The Swamp Thing, Stranger Things Season 3, Nosferatu, and our write-ins are The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Chambers, Creep Show, Marianne, and Diableros. And Eric, the winner is
people like the funny, and this was what I voted for too. What We Do in the Shadows. My God, that is a funny show. That is that is. I can't wait, and as soon as unfortunately, I think it's not on Netflix. It's on FX, because if it was streaming, I'd take a day off from work, because hey, I'm at home and my project just shut down. So
I would going to say, are you already taking a day off?
Yeah, you're taking a day off.
Essentially, it's like nobody's watching.
Also known as a month.
Yes, I got time. So this is actually, you know what? I'll be honest. This is my time to catch up on horror television. Because we've got all of these things. I really, what I'm probably going to dive into next is Los Spookies. I think
I would definitely recommend it. You'll blow through that in no time.
Yeah. That just looks like so much fun.
It is.
So back to you, Mike.
All right. Back to you, Mike.
Coming back to the stage with the best horror short of 2019. The short film is the lifeblood of film festivals across the country, as we all know. And they are the breeding ground for promising young directors in the genre. We know that not everybody has had a chance to see all these films, but we can direct you to a place where many of them are showing now. The YouTube channel Alter. Alter is a great channel. In fact, I just watched I don't know if this is one of our. I just watched The Hide Behind the other day, which I really enjoyed. Several of these films and many, many others can be seen there for free. FREE is synonymous with the best horror short. So the nominees for the best horror short of 2019 all are The Darlings, directed by Liz Tabish; Finley, directed by Zachary Thurman; Fiverr. Is it Fiverr? Fiverr course meal?
Yep.
Or
Five course meal.
Yeah,
Sorry, Eric. Yeah. Five course meal. Directed by James Caden. Nose. Eyes. Directed by Ji-won Moon. Also very good. Vinyl Destination. Directed by Daniel Cummings. Very, very good. We Found a Monkey's Paw. Directed by Aaron Pagliano. The Hide Behind. Oh, it is there. Okay. The Hide Behind, directed by Parker Finn. Good job, Parker Finn. The First Time, directed by Asif Livni, friend of the podcast. Alien 40th Anniversary. The Core, directed by the Spear Sisters. That's not Brittany and what was her
No.
What was her little sister's name?
I think they probably could have funded that one, not having to depend on 20th Century Fox for helping them out.
Yes. Notable write-ins include Civet, directed by Benjamin Capps; The Boogie Woman, directed by Erica Scoggins; What Daphne Saw, directed by Liz Marshall; Beauty Juice, directed by Natasha Halevi; and The Acrylic, directed by Daniel James Pike. And the winner is...
I haven't seen the movie. There were a lot of people who actually hadn't seen a lot of the horror shorts, and that's why we sort of said, look at one, go to our website, and two, go to Alter. But we did have, that was maybe 1/3, so 2/3 of our audience has seen some these horror shorts, and the winner is Alien 40th Anniversary, or by this Britney Spears and her sister, or some other Spears sisters.
What was Britney Spears' sister's name?
Jamie Lynn Spears.
Oh God,
Jamie Lynn.
Yes. You know that's. Oh.
Of course, I know. They're Louisiana girls.
I think the great thing about the Alien 40th Anniversary thing, and I think before people go, oh, it's just a big, a big money cash in. This is Fox putting out. Funding independent small feature directors. They had a nationwide submission, and they got hundreds of submissions, and then they took I think 6 of their favorites, and they released them every other week for a while last year. And it showed, I think a lot of creative talent, and they had to use a lot of the elements that were present in the Alien movies. And I thought some of those movies showed better ambition than some of the more recent fare that we've gotten actually out of the Alien franchises. So,
yep.
I think I will put a shout out to the movie, which that was more on the festival circuit, that came in a close second, and that is We Found a Monkey's Paw. And I met the guys who produced and directed that, and they were so much fun. And so was that little film. This is something that we saw at Gwen and Brian Callahan's the Portland Horror Film Festival, and oh God, it was so the classic monkey's paw curse, and they zoomed through all of the kinds of the repetition of what the various consequences of the curse were. It was just so much fun. So I think I voted for Finley.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say the collective Alien films that were released this year for the 40th anniversary were far and away better than Prometheus.
Yes.
Boom. There.
Yeah,
yep.
I would probably agree.
Yep.
Hot take.
Okay, back to Liz coming up in her evening pajamas.
Yes, I have an outfit change. Yeah, but I'm not in my daytime pajamas anymore since we're all working from home. It's hard to know what time of day it is. So here I am for the best horror movie moment from 2019. The staying power of a great horror movie is dependent quite often on the emotional impact of a great horror movie moment. Sometimes terrifying, sometimes hilarious, but always memorable. Sometimes you can recall the individual moments more than you do the overall plot of the film. And this year's nominees for the best horror movie moment are the discovery of whether LaBelle's curse is for real or not in Ready or Not, when Danica does an intestinal divination in Satanic Panic, when the alligators get the jump on the looters in Crawl, the Chinese restaurant scene in It Chapter 2, Ephraim's mermaid fantasy in The Lighthouse, the Tyler family gets ambushed by their tethered doppelgangers in Us, the pledges get branded in Pledge, Christian in the bear suit in Midsommar, or the rise of King Ghidorah in Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Eric, who is our winner for Best Horror Movie Moment of the Year 2019?
This was another back and forth battle, and this one, Midsommar, comes out on top.
Gators.
All right.
No, it was Christian in the bear suit at the end of Midsommar. That stuck with people, and
yep.
Yeah, that was that. We got a couple of that one was neck and neck with the discovery of whether LaBelle's curse was real or not, and so those are, two movies with two big endings, going toe to toe.
Last minute.
I think the total vote count there was, it was one vote difference.
Wow.
So someone came in at the last minute and gave one vote. We almost had a tie.
Wow.
All right, Mike.
That is kind of a shocker. All right.
Back to you.
Yes, the best horror movie director of 2019. The horror new wave is here. Eric, are we in the golden age, silver age? Where are we at?
This is
we're
in a new golden age, but this is the new golden wave edge. Maybe, I don't know.
We're in the new wave golden age of horror. As we said a sad farewell to the likes of Stuart Gordon just this last week, who we just lost, of course. We can celebrate the rise of a new generation of great horror directors who are bringing fresh visions to the genre and are expanding what people think of when it comes to scary movies. The nominees are Ari Aster, Midsommar, Matt Bettinelli, Olfen and Tyler Gillette for Ready or Not, Jordan Peele for Us, Robert Eggers for The Lighthouse, Chelsea Stardust for Satanic Panic, Severin Fiala and Veronica Franz for The Lodge, Alexander Aja for Crawl, and notable write-ins include Mike Flanagan for Dr. Sleep, Andre Muschietti for It Chapter 2, Andrew Desmond for The Sonata, Richard Stanley for Color Out of Space, and Dave Yarovesky for Brightburn. And the winner of the best horror movie director is...
It's 2 in a row for Midsommar. Ari Aster.
Wow. Ari Aster.
Yep.
Wow. Who's on top right now? Who are you keeping a running tally?
I think that puts Midsommar's got 3. I think the Sonata's got 3.
Okay. Not bad.
So this is not like Titanic running away with every movie. So
that's right. Okay, I like it. I like it.
I think it tells you also the breadth of what we got last year. I think we got and also this is where I'm really happy we got a lot of votes in compared to particularly last year, because it shows how competitive the movie scene was and how many good movies we had.
You know what it tells me? The Scariest Things podcast is egalitarian. That's what it tells me.
That's not
save for Eric and Robert Zilbauer stuffing the ballot box.
Well,
otherwise,
Ready or Not only's gotten 1 win so far. So, yeah.
Okay.
Couldn't carry Samara Weaving over the finish line, sadly.
Eric would, though. He'd carry her.
Yep. I'll carry you.
Okay. All right. I get to present the nominees for the best independent or limited release horror feature from 2019. So welcome once again to a sweet spot for the scariest things. The small independent horror films is where a little podcast like us can make a difference. We care more about the obscure films than the big publications, and it's where we get a chance to get real interactions with producers and filmmakers. So the nominees for this category are Extraordinary, Come to Daddy, Daniel Isn't Real, The Lodge, Pledge, The Sonata, Sweetheart, Satanic Panic, and we have a few write-ins, Knives and Skin, Girl on the Third Floor, After Midnight, The Invisible Mother, and Mike's favorite of the year, 3 from Hell. Eric, who is the winner of the best independent or limited release horror feature of the year?
It's The Sonata. So this is
dun, 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 dun.
So this might put them in a
sorry.
lead.
Oh yeah, it will.
So,
yeah.
Let's see, 1, 2. Oh, I'm not doing a good track of doing the head count here.
That's okay.
But yeah. So yes, the Sonata, and this is, I think, if you go to our site, Robert gave this 4.5 stars. This is, I think this is sort of pick your flavor. There's a lot of Lovecraftian elements to the Sonata, and Freya's performance is fantastic. And this is also the last performance of Rutger Hauer, another one of our in memoriam people this year.
That's right.
So it's a fine send off for Rutger. So
indeed,
yes,
indeed,
good on you, Rutger.
All right. Since the thingies are running a little long, we're at the final. This is it, right? Am I right?
This is the big one.
This is it.
The big one.
All right. The big one. This, of course, is the best studio wide release horror feature. This is the big one. The category with movies that most of you have seen, that most of us have seen. It was a great year for the big releases with smart, funny, edgy horror offerings and proof that there are still some great original ideas for horror in Hollywood. Without further ado, the nominees are It, Chapter 2, Midsummer, The Lighthouse, Crawl, Ready or Not, Dr. Sleep, Us, and The Color Out of Space. And the winner is...
This one was really, really close. The winner by 2 votes is The Lighthouse.
Wow.
So The Lighthouse had 22 votes. Dr. Sleep had 20 votes. Midsummer had 18 votes. It Chapter 2 had 18 votes. Ready or Not had 19 votes. So this was really, really close. This was last day voting from our jurors, and again, a testament to our egalitarianism. I guess I have to agree with you, Mike. So congratulations to Robert Eggers. You came out a winner, and this was a fantastic year for us. And we're hoping that we'll get a good slew of horror movies coming out this year. It's going to be kind of weird though, because we can't actually go to the cinema to see these things.
Yes, that's right.
So far, we'll be back.
Yeah.
Yes.
It'll be back. It'll all be back.
Yeah, we're gonna get
in the interim. You can fill your days with Eric's recent list of the big list of pandemic and virus. What did you call it? Pandemic and infectious horror films.
Yes, we will be spending a lot of time over the next few weeks getting out more dead lists. We know that you guys love this stuff. Liz has got something for I think the French extremism, correct? Coming up.
Yes,
so we got
working on that,
and we also have our horror on the high seas or deep under the sea one that we put out a few weeks ago. And go in and check out actually all our reviews and our dead lists, because if you're sitting at home wondering what to check out next, we want to be your gateway, and these things are now mostly streaming. There's plenty of films out there, and take a chance. This is your time to actually to load up and see movies that you wouldn't ordinarily check out. So, anything that's on the Thingy Awards, except for the Depends Award stuff, avoid those.
Yeah, skip that one.
Everything else
or
on there.
Don't. Go don't.
Yeah, go see The Lighthouse. Go see The Sonata.
Go see Three from Hell again.
No,
or don't
support that. That's wrong.
Go see Fred Durst's The Fanatic. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, you know
We're
what?
gonna have to see that.
That's right. Everybody's entitled to have their own take. What I might think is a hot mess, someone else. Actually, there are a lot of people who really like Three from Hell. It has a very high rating on Amazon, which makes me wonder about the Amazon rating system. I think everything.
Right.
Hereditary's at 3 stars, or sometimes a little less than 3 stars, and Three from Hell is like 4.5. There's no justice in this world. So
no,
there
is not.
Right.
Anyways, let's close on an up note.
Yes.
So do we have any taglines to take us out with, Mike?
I do not. I don't have a single tagline to take us out.
Let me get what. Let's see. I'm not ready.
Oh.
I'm not ready.
Well,
no.
I think we gave you plenty to be thankful for with the Scariest Things Thingy Awards. We'll be back at it again next year, and we hope if you want to join us next time. We had an open ballot. One of the reasons why we had so many people come on board this time was we had an open invitation on the site for anybody who wants to play along with us, and we'll be doing it again next year because it turned out so well this year. So,
see you in 2021.
Yep.